So people are saying Bitcoin's about to be worth $100,000 a coin. I don't know when that's gonna happen, but I wanna show you how to protect your Bitcoin, borrowing some ideas from a little bit of history. During World War II, there was an army called the Ghost Army. It was an American tactical deception unit that used inflatable tanks, fake radio transmissions, and sound effects to mislead the enemy, making them believe an entire army was present when it wasn't. This psychological warfare tactic distracted the German military and saved a lot of lives. There was also Robert Houdin. Now, if Houdini was the father of magic, then Robert Houdin was the grandfather. It's also where Eric Weiss got his inspiration for his stage name, Houdini. And one of the most famous legends about Robert Houdin was about him performing for the Algerian tribal leaders, because in 1856, he was asked by Napoleon Bonaparte III his help in conquering the French colony of Algeria. Now, the Algerian chieftains at the time believed in magic and superpowers, so Houdin presented them with a chest that looked not very different from this one, which he said could be made heavy or light using just the power of his mind. So one by one, he invited them to come and pick up the chest, and they all did, easily, because it was super light. And then, with the power of his mind, he made it so heavy that none of them could lift it. The Algerian leaders, believing that the French possessed magical powers, stopped their rebellion. Now, this trick right here is called the light and heavy chest. It's a classic in magic, but the point is that there's a common thread in security: magic, which at its core is deception. The takeaway here is that convincing others to look in the wrong place or to see something as valuable when it isn't is extremely powerful. The easiest way to steal valuable information is ways that most people don't consider. It's like misdirection. Just when you think you're watching a video on Bitcoin safety, bam, in come World War II stories. And just when you think you're watching a video on history, bam, in come the lightsaber attacks.
Misdirection.
Someone comes to your house, bonks you over the head with a wrench until you give up your private keys or your seed phrase. What do you do? So I want to give you some ideas on how we can apply this thinking to securing your Bitcoin, because if these so-called experts are really right and Bitcoin does become a lot more valuable, I want you to hold on to it and not lose it. So let's go over some common attacks and the best security practices of how not to lose your coins from a real-life loser. So let's get into it. Hi, my name is Andrei Jikh. Hope you're doing well. Come for the finance and stay for the magic of misdirection. And speaking of misdirection, I think we're gonna see Wall Street systematically take the Bitcoin away from ordinary people. It'll be like a magic trick, and here's how I think it's gonna happen. A lot of people have been buying Bitcoin ETFs, and you can find a bunch of different ones on your favorite brokerage app, and I've seen people do what's called covered call options on Bitcoin ETFs to collect dividends, or premiums as they're called. Covered calls are like making a bet that Bitcoin could reach some price point at some point in the future. Like, let's say I make a bet that Bitcoin will not reach $100,000 by next week. And if it doesn't, I get to make some money, the premium. The more realistic the price point is and the closer it is to the deadline, the higher the premium. But if it does reach the price point, then the Bitcoin gets called away from me at a lower price point than where it is today. And that's a bad idea, because Bitcoin's extremely volatile. It can gain tens of thousands of dollars really fast. So if there's someone telling you, you can make some extra money by selling some covered call options on Bitcoin ETFs, I would just avoid it. It's not worth it. Instead, I would keep it on the blockchain, which has never been hacked. It's the most secure place to keep your coins. Step number one also is get yourself one of these, a pepper spray. Just kidding. Can you imagine if this whole video was gonna be about just Krav Maga self-defense tactics?
Yeah,
The worst mistake is, of course, keeping your coins on an exchange for a long period of time. As soon as you deposit your coins there, that money belongs to those companies. What you own is a piece of paper that says you own something. And that's not good, because when those coins disappear, that's where the phrase, "not your keys, not your coins," comes from. Exchanges, like banks, can fail. But there's a major difference, because unlike major banks, they are not FDIC protected, which means federally insured and obligated to be returned up to $250,000 of our money in the case of failure, which is the law. The same extends to trading brokerages that are SIPC insured. If an app like Robinhood goes bust, you can still get some of your assets back within the SIPC limits. But these laws do not extend to crypto assets. There is no obligation for these funds to be returned unless you bought the Bitcoin ETF, which is what people are now doing, but be very careful and don't get greedy trying to sell covered calls. Exchanges can also be hacked, and even worse and more likely, they can go bankrupt because of negligence, greed, or some bonehead CEO starts doing bad business practices like loaning your money to other companies that are leveraged into risky bets that are cross-collateralized with other risky bets, and they become overly reliant on one another and they eventually blow up. And because they all relied on each other, when one failed, they all failed. So protect your coins. And if you choose to self-custody your Bitcoin, meaning hold and protect the asset yourself, here's what you should watch out for. Before you get yourself a hardware wallet like this, the Ledger, the Trezor, just remember there's plenty of them out there, including the Cold Card Q, which is way more advanced. Make sure you buy them directly from the manufacturer. Another mistake is keeping your seed phrase on your phone or on some app. Remember that these devices generate that 12 or 24 word seed phrase. This is the key to your wallet. It's not the hardware itself that holds your coins. Your coins are on the blockchain, and the hardware here is just an interface. It's a piece of software that allows you to talk to the blockchain easier. Unfortunately, it's not that uncommon that when people set up these devices, they take a screenshot of their seed phrase or they put it on a password logger like 1Password. Those apps and password managers have been hacked before, so it's not safe there either. And if your computer has a keylogger or someone plugged in some device without you looking, or worse, you accidentally download some Chrome extension that sends you something or makes you sign something, they could figure out your OnlyFans passwords and other compromising information. So never type your seed phrase into a computer that is connected to the internet, ever. The moment you do, that wallet becomes what's called a hot wallet, meaning it's susceptible to all the things of the internet. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, well, fine, Andre, I'm just gonna store it in my home safe. But if the lockpicking lawyer hasn't scared you yet, it's also the most obvious place that someone's gonna look. That's where your valuables are. It's a honeypot. They may not be able to crack your safe, but they could steal it and then later brute force into it. And if they can find that piece of paper, they'll know exactly what it is. It could even be as harmless as your house cleaner coming by to find your seed phrase somewhere. And then a couple years later, just when you think you're safe, poof, you'll have no idea how your device, which no one has touched for years, was wiped clean. You're gonna think, I was hacked.
Bitcoin is a scam.
But no, instead, you just granted someone access by not storing your seed phrase properly. And don't trust anyone, including your dog, because they could accidentally eat it too. It sounds silly, but it's actually happened before. So if you do store it somewhere physically, make sure it's not just written down on a piece of paper. That's a risk if your house burns down and you lose it. Instead, keep it somewhere on a metal sheet or a device that's really hard to destroy, like a bill photo or the crypto tag. The crypto tag displays what's called a BIP39 mnemonic, which is made up of 2,048 different words that you can use to reference and reconstruct your 24-word seed phrase. Another potential problem that I've seen is splitting your seed phrase into multiples. Like if you have a 12-word seed phrase, splitting it into 6 and storing it in 2 different locations, or even worse, a 24-word seed phrase in 3 different locations. Don't overcomplicate it. Keeping track of 1 or 2 things is already hard enough, because if 1 or 2 of those sections is compromised, it makes it possible with a brute force attack to figure out the rest of the seed phrase for someone who is sophisticated enough. Instead, pro tip, set up a secret wallet by way of the 25th passphrase. What that will do is, if someone finds your 24-word seed phrase, as long as they don't have that 25th passphrase and your seed phrase together, they would not be able to access that wallet. And it's also super useful because you can delete your accounts in something like the Ledger Live, for example. You can remove them and delete them permanently until you want them back. And that's really useful, especially when crossing the border to another country. If, God forbid, a TSA agent opens up your laptop and finds, oh, this person's a crypto person, they have some money in their account. Well, how much is it? They open it up and they find out you're transporting all this money. Well, you can get detained. You don't want to put yourself through that, so just hide those accounts and their values. Right now, I'm going to show you how to set up your secret wallet. And the way we're going to do that is by setting up a 25th passphrase. Now, the way the secret wallet works is you're going to be assigned a new PIN code to access your key, and you're going to create a passphrase. Now, the way that it works is this secret wallet is a derivation or a derivative as your first wallet, the main wallet that we've created. In other words, the private key are the same 24 words, except we're going to be adding a 25th word. The idea is that this 25th word should be something that you can remember, but you can also write it down somewhere. You can store it on your phone. You can put it in a password manager app if that's what you want. The goal is to separate these words and that 25th word. And the goal behind it is that if someone was to get access to your 24 words, they would get access to your main wallet. But if you hold most of your money in the secret wallet, the idea is that they would not be able to access it. Now, it's still possible for them to brute force and access your secret wallet because remember, you're now only hiding behind one word. But hopefully it buys us enough time that if we discover someone gets a hold of this, we can move our funds before they discover what that secret wallet word is. That's how it works, and I'm gonna show you how to set this up. So let me show you how to do that right now. Once you've plugged in your key, what you're gonna do is you're going to enter the PIN code. So for the main wallet, remember it was 1, 2, 3, 4. Goes without saying, obviously yours is going to be different and not that easy to guess. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna scroll to the right all the way until you see Control Center. Now at Control Center, you're going to just hold both the buttons for a couple seconds. And that's going to bring you to this other screen. Now here, we can either lock device, we can go to settings or close, check our battery level, device name, and Bluetooth. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna navigate towards settings and manage device. And we're gonna click both the buttons to select it. We're gonna scroll to the right till we see security. So press that. And here we're going to do the passphrase. Now, once you click both buttons, passphrase, it's gonna show you advanced feature, read passphrase manual. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna navigate all the way to the right. So I pressed it twice, 1, 2, and it says checkmark setup passphrase. So that's what we're gonna do. Boom, setup passphrase. Now in this section, it's going to present you with two different options. It's going to show you attach to PIN or set temporary. Now there is a big difference between the two. Attach to PIN means that your secret passphrase, that 25th word, is going to be stored on this device. Meaning, every time you enter the PIN code, which we're gonna create a new one for the secret wallet, it's going to recall that 25th passphrase. In other words, it'll give you access to that secret wallet by entering the right PIN code. That's different to setting temporary. Set temporary means once we go through this process and we detach the device, you will not be able to access your secret wallet unless you enter your 25th word, your secret password, right? So it's not going to store that 25th word on this device. And some people prefer to do that. So what you're gaining is a little bit of security, but what you're losing is a little bit of convenience because you're gonna have to enter that word every time you wanna see that secret wallet. Now, just for this demonstration, I'm gonna show you attach to PIN because it's a little bit more convenient, but the process is the same. So we're gonna click attach to PIN. There we go. And now it's going to ask me choose passphrase PIN. Alrighty. So the PIN code. Now remember, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 to access our main wallet. But for this wallet, again, in the spirit of keeping things simple, I'm going to put 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's a completely different PIN code, which when entered, the next time I unplug this device, it will give me access to my secret wallet. So I'm gonna hit check mark, there we go. And now it's going to ask me to confirm the passphrase PIN. So since we just created it, that's 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. Now it's gonna ask me to enter my passphrase. Remember, what we're actually doing here is we are creating an entirely separate wallet. This is not a different account. It's a completely different wallet. That's, again, a derivative of our main wallet. The same 24 words plus a 25th. So now we can choose what that 25th word will be. So let's try that. Enter passphrase. You want to make sure that this word is not something that people can just brute force, meaning it shouldn't be a word that can be found in a dictionary, because then it's just a matter of trying every single word before they discover it. It should also not be something that can easily be attached to you, like your birthday or whatever it is that people can Google about you and find out. So make it something that you're going to remember, but something that people can't reverse engineer and just Google about you. So for this one, I'm just gonna keep it simple and I'm gonna put Satoshi. Now that's a name, but I'm gonna change it up a little bit and I'm gonna add some special characters to it, which is something you can do in this case. And it's also case sensitive. This interface might be a little confusing for you, so here's how you can kind of work around it. So it's gonna show me AB, capital letters, so it's gonna show me the entire alphabet of capital letters. So I'm gonna start my Satoshi with a capital S. So there we go. Then I'm gonna navigate towards S. There we go, so there, found S. And now to get back where I wanna go, I'm gonna navigate all the way to the right until I see lowercase ab. And from here on, I don't just wanna enter a lowercase a, I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm going to enter a symbol, so a special character, where it says question mark and 0. I'm gonna double tap that. Now it's gonna show you all the digits. I'm gonna scroll through and you can see there's the letter and, there's the / and question mark and semicolons. We're gonna go past all of that until we find at, like your email. That's gonna be my A. It's a special character. There we go. Now we're gonna go back out of that, back into the normal lowercase letters, and I'm going to type out the rest of it. There we go, AB, click that. And I'm gonna do the rest Toshi as you would spell it, Satoshi. So there we go, let's find the T. Then I will find the O. There we go, Satoshi, S-H-I. H and I, Satoshi. There we go. And now I'm gonna navigate all the way to the right until I see a check mark. I'm gonna double press. There we go. Now it's gonna ask me to confirm the passphrase, right? So make sure that I entered it the right way. So you can see capital S at Toshi, right? So double tap, confirm current PIN. Okay, so confirm with current PIN. Let's do that. So my current PIN is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's my main wallet PIN. That's what it's asking, not the new one we just set up. The first one we set up. Check mark. Processing. And now, passphrase set. There we go. So now we have a secret wallet. Now at this point in time, because we technically have a new wallet, we must also set up those new accounts. If you want to learn how to do that, I have a link down below in the description of this video with over 4 hours of training that shows you how, for multiple devices, use coupon code Andrei40 to get 40% off. Another mistake I've seen is people falling for a phishing scam. You wake up one day and you get an email or a password breach of some sort that your credentials were stolen. You have to log in and enter your information so you can change your password and recover your money. This tactic was so common during the bankruptcy recoveries that the crypto companies had to start mailing physical checks to people instead of sending them digitally for fear that the people they were sending the money to were compromised. So instead, add two-factor authentication to all of your devices. And I know it sounds silly and you probably already do this, but I didn't do this and I fell victim to this attack and my X account was hacked for an entire year. Once you set up 2FA, instead of using your phone number, please use another app like Google Authenticator. If you do use your phone number for 2FA, I want you to send an email. Don't just call. email your phone service provider immediately and let them know that any changes or attempts to recover your SIM card must be approved by you in person. Because true story, someone I once knew, Michael Turpin, had 1,500 Bitcoins stolen because an AT&T employee was bribed and compromised. And he sued AT&T for $24 million and won the lawsuit. But most of us probably don't have his resources to go after a major telecom company, so just send out that email for extra protection and at least have some paper trail that you can prove you requested it for legal reasons. I want to show you how I personally think about security, and a big part of it, again, is based on deception, those stories I told you about in the beginning. So after you set up your devices and you set it up properly by creating that secret wallet and transferring most of your money to that hidden wallet where you keep some of the money in the primary wallet as a duress wallet or a duress PIN code for plausible deniability, and you hid those accounts and you deleted them from Ledger Live so that they don't show up, you set up your 2FAs and you've done all that. Here are some cool ideas on hiding spots from my training guide that you can check out in the description down below. This is my favorite one. See if you've ever seen one of these devices. This is really, really cool. And again, I'm sure I will include all of these items in a PDF where you can check them out. They have one and they have a dual socket hidden installation. This goes inside of your walls. And what's really cool is that this little socket is held together with a magnet that you take apart, and here you will actually find a door that you will unlock with a key, and once you open it up, you can actually put some contents inside of here, like your seed phrase that you can tape behind it with black electrical tape if you really want to be extra safe. You can even put your hardware wallet inside of there as well. And if you're extra paranoid, once you've screwed that into your wall, this magnet attaches there. You can even super glue or hot glue around the edges so that this little cover is not gonna go anywhere. Now let's talk about some extreme cases. And you might be thinking, Andre, no one's gonna target me and my 0.01 Bitcoins, but you'd be surprised. Ransomware attacks have spiked over several 100% in the past few years. And while they do tend to target bigger corporations, individual people are not off the hook. And yes, the lightsaber attack I mentioned, AKA the wrench attack, someone physically threatening you to give up your seed phrase, is real. That's why you have that duress PIN code, which gives you that plausible deniability. You can have some money on it, but most of your money can be on a completely separate wallet, like that 25th passphrase secret wallet. And finally, it's really important to practice recovering your Bitcoin. What happens if someone steals both your seed phrase and your hardware wallet? And worse, they do it while you're traveling. You don't have time to travel halfway across the world to get it all back, so what do? You need to download a software wallet and access your wallet before the thieves do, and there is a way to do that. Those are just some of the lessons that I've put together down below across 40 separate training videos spanning 4.5 hours. You can find all the information that I teach in this course for free, but personally, I've always had a hard time putting all the information together in context. Like, what happens if I don't have my wallet or my seed phrase? And what if I'm traveling? Which thing is that, right? And if you want a direct and easy way to learn from videos that are not littered with ads or sponsors, you can find the link down below right here in the description, and you can use coupon code Andre40 to get an additional 40% off, and I'll be running that coupon as long as I'm updating the course with new information. So thank you so much for watching this video. As always, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to see you back here next week. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.